Basically, we started with, so I've taken 1 cup of milk of your choice and I added a half cup of water in it and adding that to the pan. Then I used, so these are the cardamom pods, which we are using in this recipe as well. Cardamom pods. And then I had some leftover. So what I do is some recipes I use the seeds, cardamom seeds, but then the skin of the pods is left over. So I don't throw it. I use it in the tea, chai tea, or I use it into the turmeric milk. So basically that's what I have. And then I'm going to add, these are basically black pepper. I'm just going to grind it in the milk. You can actually, if you have few, you can drop them into this mixture to pound it. But since I have this contraption like this, I'm just going to do maybe a couple of rounds like that. So basically 1 black pepper we are adding. And then if you're taking a pepper, then you can add it here. Then 1 clove. So the clove is also really fantastic. So you choose 1 clove and you add that into this. I'm going to add now turmeric powder in this. So this is a small teaspoon. So I'll show you what I mean. So this is normal size teaspoon. And this is the teaspoon I'm using. So if you're using normal size teaspoon, half of that. If you're using this small teaspoon, then we are using it full like that, okay? You can even take a little bit more. So half to full teaspoon. If you're taking this half, make sure it's flat. This can have a little bit more. So let's add that into the milk. And then let's pound this in the pestle.
So Sunita, so far that's cardamom seed,
black pepper, clove, 1 cup. So this is for 1 cup. Okay, this is 1 cup, and 1 teaspoon of the half a teaspoon of the turmeric powder. And so I added, and then a grated fresh ginger. Now this is again roughly this much. So 1 teaspoon of grated ginger. I like grated, if I'm using fresh ginger, I like grated ginger because I think that it tastes better. It just opens up more flavors in it. So a little bit mixing this up. Now, if you're using dry ginger, then I suggest very tiny, like maybe a couple of pinches of that. So the dry ginger is very potent in the dried form. So you just take a little bit. So I would have taken even half of this, like very little dry ginger. And that will be sufficient for this because dry ginger is very heating. Especially pitta people need to be very careful with ginger in any way. Now this is winter time for us, so we are going to, it's okay to have a little bit more, but just be mindful. And then you need to keep stirring this as well. The reason for that is sometimes it gets stuck at the bottom. And then for sugar, for this one, you don't have to use sugar if you don't want to. But for sugar, I use jaggery. So this is, you can get in Indian stores. This is called jaggery, and it's basically rawest form of sugar, and you can add that in the mixture as well. And it tastes, again, it's acquired taste. If you don't like it, you can take a half teaspoon of sugar. The reason for sugar is it helps the taste, but if you don't want sugar, that's fine, you don't have to use it. And then we're going to keep stirring this. I add jaggery later, towards the end, because it may spoil the milk, so because it's the rawest form. So you add it after, let it boil first, and then you can add it. So the milk, you can use milk of your choice. Traditionally, we use cow's milk. And what we're doing here is we're going to let it boil and then reduce the heat and let it simmer for some time. So we're going to reduce. So we had 1.5 cup of milk. So this is very big cup. I'm using it to show you, um, so that you can see through this. So the regular cup is here up to here, and then I added this much water. So 1 cup of milk and half cup of water. That's what I did. And so what we're going to do is we're going to let it boil, the whole concoction. We're going to let it boil for some time and keep stirring if needed. Keep noticing, like if it is coming out, then we're reducing. Don't let it fall over, because that may happen, the boiling, with the boiling. Yeah,
Sunita, could you use maple syrup in this for the sugar, or would
yeah,
that be too strong a flavor?
yeah, that's fine. Like anything you want, you may not even need it. Just try it without it. But if there is acidic tendency, then we add some sort of sugar to reduce the acidity. Otherwise, acidity, and that combination can be sing. But this raw sugar is also very heating. Any sugar is heating, so we need to understand that. So moderation is the key in Ayurveda. So if you're using, say, maple syrup, a teaspoon again, or up to your choice. And this actually is very tasty concoction. It's very aromatic as well, so it's quite nice. And we basically going to let it heat up and let it boil for some time now. As soon as it start boiling, I will add, reduce the heat, and I'll add the we call it gud in Hindi, and gud in Marathi, the language I speak. This is a jaggery. You can get it in Indian stores. It's way different than palm sugar. So it's different, but you can also use coconut sugar. You can also use agave. That's all. It's all good. Whatever the option you like, maple syrup, it's all good. It's just that it helps to reduce the acidity. That's why the sweetness is added. But milk is already sweet anyway. The vipak, the effect of milk is sweet. Maple syrup. But again, it's not everyone's cup of tea, so and we need strainer for this. Any form of strainer will do. So now reducing the heat and mixing again. So as soon as you start coming up, you're doing that, and then adding uh, the sweetener of your choice. You can add even later with the maple syrup and all that. You don't have to add here now. Turmeric, though, just the word of caution: if you are wearing white clothes, or if it falls on your clothes, then it's going to stain. Yeah, and with the soap, the stain turns into not yellow, but sometimes into dark brown color. So it looks really weird. So just be mindful of that. Bench top, like that's why I use something to keep
Yeah.
spoons, or it's just you have to be careful, extra careful.
So, Sunita, do you have that on a low heat to bring it to the boil? So you're not trying to push the to heat too quickly?
So no, we can play with it. Like if it is going to take some time, you can increase the heat if needed. We want the water to reduce now. We don't want it to come just out of the pot like that. But now it's bubbling, it's really boiling, really. And that's what we want, so that water will reduce. So that's why you will have to keep watching it, keep noticing, that is it overflowing. It won't come out again, but keep an eye.
So you're straining it to take out the pulp of the ginger.
Yeah, there is a lot of all the pulp here is basically ginger, all the things we added that will come out. And then if you like that, I don't like it in my mouth when I'm drinking it. Some people like it, so you can have it, but I like to strain it and then have it like this. And I like to have it warm. I don't like cold. Uh, cold.
Sorry, I was going to say, could you cool it down and have it in the summer heat?
That was a good question, actually. You can have it, but Ayurveda is all about having it warm. So, and usually we'll have it in winter time, summer time. You can bring it to room temperature and have it later. That's fine, especially pitta. But remember, it's heating. So when you will have it is, you will have it during, if you have colds, coughs, if you have suffering with anything, congestion, if you're suffering with inflammation of the system, that is also helpful. Then you can have this in the evening.
So it would be heating even cold because of the ginger in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And but if you say pitta is on high for your system, then you can have it like reduce the ginger a little bit, maybe just cardamom and turmeric, and you can have that way, uh, and that will help. It's the reason we drink it like this, because turmeric needs some fat carrier to help her digest in our system. That's why milk tea is used, or if you see that in our curries, it is used, the little bit oil is used to give that seasoning. And the reason for that is that little bit oil helps to open up all the flavors and goodness of these things like cumin, mustard seed, and turmeric and all that. Then it's easy for our system to absorb.